Sewing generally is a beautiful thing. Doesn't matter what kind of clothing you sew. If you sew men's clothing, women's clothing, or even for kids, household items, sewing is always a very beautiful thing. But another beautiful thing is your ability to sell these items that you sew. It's not just enough for you to keep sewing so many projects. You sew all kind of projects, yes, but your ability to actually monetize your time, because truth be said, it takes a lot of effort to make and finish a sewing project. Doesn't matter how small the project is, it takes a lot of time, and this time must be accounted for. And your ability to actually sell the items that you sew for fun is actually a game changer. On this channel, I'm on a mission to sew pillowcases until I'm able to buy a Yuki TL2300 sewing machine. This is a machine I admire, and this is a machine I have said to myself, it's not going to be bought from money which I have just kept sitting on the bank. It's going to be bought from me actually sewing pillow covers, selling them on a platform, and actually making money off of it. And this brings us to the reason why I'm making this video. A lot of you have actually asked, where would be the best place to actually go ahead and sell the items that you sew? And this is a very valid question. Sometimes you won't need to think of this if you are only just sewing and keeping in your wardrobe, or just sewing and keeping somewhere on the table. But the moment you begin to think of selling the items that you sew, then comes the question, where would be the best place for you to actually begin to sell them? Naturally, I'm an eBay person. I've sold a lot of stuff on eBay, so I kind of have a natural bias to just say eBay. But quite recently, I've pretty much seen that eBay may not be the last bus stop when it comes to selling the items that you sell. There's a particular website, and you all know it. It's called Etsy, and this is a platform we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking a little bit of eBay as well. And at the end of the day, it's not just about the platform. It's about you getting people interested in the items that you've spent money, you've spent time to produce. You see, I've sold a lot of stuff on eBay, and I can pretty much say that they have a very, very good interface. It's very, very easy to actually list items. So if you have an item to sell, all you have to do is to create an account, go ahead and photograph the item and list them. And it is very, very interactive. If you decide to begin to list on eBay, it's pretty much easy. For my years of selling things on eBay, I realized that it takes pretty much 1 to 2 or 3 minutes, depending on your experience level, to actually get an item listed on the platform. And if you run into problems trying to list an item, there are a lot of helpful resources out there on the internet. You have a very good eBay community also, that there is pretty much no question or no difficulty or no challenge that you might be encountering that you would not be able to actually overcome if you take pains to just look through what other people have written on the particular problem that you might be having. In terms of traffic, eBay is pretty much the king when it comes to traffic. They have a lot of loyal buyers in a number of countries all over the world. So it's almost like, doesn't matter where you live, you are almost certain that you will get traffic for the items that you decide to sell on eBay. This is very, very important. For a rookie seller, someone that doesn't have any experience selling online, you might not be so sure what traffic does to your listing. Traffic, my friends, is the game changer. If you have an item listed online and nobody is seeing this item, there's pretty much nothing you can do about it. The item is going to sit for a long time before you finally sell it. So if you have your sewing project listed on a platform, say eBay, and you get a lot of traffic every day, every week, and every month, you suddenly realize that the item tends to sell pretty fast, and you'll be smiling to the bank, having gotten a lot of money from the items that you've sold. I know this because I have been selling on the platform for a very, very long time, long enough for me to know what traffic does to your listing. But then, when there's just one player, it's pretty much not the best. Quite recently, I've also realized that Etsy is also a force to reckon with. And I saw that a lot of people, in fact, there's a very healthy and big Etsy community here on YouTube. A lot of people tend to sell items that they sew. A lot of DIY projects, a lot of handmade projects are pretty much sold on Etsy. From what I could find out, it's almost as if Etsy is a final destination of whatever you make with your hands. eBay is much in the direction of everything. Like, you want to sell electronics, you want to sell household utensils, you want to sell furnishing, you want to sell your car, you want to sell anything you can ever think of. There's always somebody out there on eBay already selling that thing. So, but Etsy, when I looked at the platform, I saw that a lot of handmade stuffs are being sold right now on the platform. A lot of people are posting profits. And I also, the only time I tried to sell stuff on Etsy was a very long time ago when I listed a how to sew pillow cover sewing guide. And believe me, I did make sales, even though I didn't put any special effort in making sure that the item sells. So what does that tell me? It tells me that when you list an item on Etsy, it's definitely going to get a sale. And when you put in extra effort to make sure that the item gets a lot of visibility, which is if you go ahead to optimize your title, you optimize your item descriptions, you make good photos, then definitely you're going to be increasing the rate or the speed at which you actually sell your item. So on what I can see, I see that the user interface is also very direct. There are a lot of tips to guide you on the way as you list your items. Basically, just like on eBay, you have to make good photos. You have to adequately describe your items. You have to take extra care to make very good photos that will actually show that the item you are selling has been first handmade and also has been made with special care to ensure that when the buyer receives the item, he or she is definitely going to be happy. And from what I could also find out looking at a lot of YouTube videos, I realized that Etsy itself also has a lot of loyal buyers. These are buyers that never ever go elsewhere. It doesn't matter if the items are cheaper on Amazon, if they are cheaper on eBay, they don't go anywhere else. They are just Etsy people and they tend to remain with the platform. And truth be said, I've seen a lot of decent sewing projects. It doesn't matter if it is pillow covers, if it is pillowcases, it doesn't matter if they are men's shirts, if they are women's shirts. Every kind of sewing project you can actually find on Etsy, just like you can also find them on eBay. In the coming videos, I'm going to be taking a look, actually digging into each category, actually see which category or which platform actually offers the best or the highest number of offers, and also take a look because I understand that eBay has a research tool which is called Terapeak, which you can actually use to probe and see the volume of transactions in a given category. I wouldn't know if Etsy has the same, but I want to imagine that yes, given that Etsy is a very big e-commerce platform, they definitely need to have a research tool like this. If you sell on Etsy and you are aware of the research tool that Etsy uses, you'll be doing the community a whole lot of good. If you could go ahead and comment below and tell us exactly what this tool is and what kind of information this tool can actually give to us sellers. But then, if my experience is anything to go by, if you have projects that you have spent time sewing, the very best thing that you can actually do for yourself is to see how you can actually sell on the two platforms. Gone are the days where you just stick to one platform. If you want to maximize your sales, you want to maximize your offer, you want to generate as much sales as possible from the items that you've spent time sewing, do yourself a great favor by just selling on the two platforms. In this way, you're able to actually live the best of both worlds. Doesn't matter if you have an item listed on Etsy, you're able to capture the Etsy people. And if you have an item listed on eBay, you are also able to capture the eBay people. You see, if you notice something, I have deliberately left out Amazon from this whole list. I personally have very great respect for Amazon. The learning curve is just a little bit higher. Definitely is something that you can actually learn. There are a lot of useful resources out there to guide you on the way. But then if you have sewing projects that you've completed and you just want to quickly flip them, please sell them for profit, I can highly recommend you to sell on eBay. I can highly recommend you as well to sell on Etsy. eBay for me is something I have spent years studying. I understand the way the algorithm works. I understand what you need to do to get a sale. But in the coming weeks, given that I have a challenge that I've set for myself, which is to sew pillowcases until I am able to buy a Yuki TL 2300 sewing machine. In the coming weeks, I'm going to be actually going into Etsy and I'm going to be documenting it, creating a very powerful listing. For the pillow covers I'm going to be sewing, I've got quite a number of sizes to list on the platform. I've got 40 by 40 centimeters. I've got 45 by 45 centimeters. I've got 50 by 50 centimeters, if I remember correctly, as well as 40 centimeters by 60 centimeters. I'm going to be creating a very powerful listing on Etsy, hopefully documenting it, because this video is definitely going to go a long way to help somebody out there that you have been sewing for a very long time, but you pretty much do not know how to go about it. I'm going to document my process, which is me actually creating a listing, then sewing an item and doing everything humanly possible for me to make sure that I sell these items and not only sell them, make some profit that will enable me buy the sewing machine of my dream. I hope this video helps you. If it does, please go ahead and click on the like button, subscribe to the channel. Until I see you in the next video, hopefully tomorrow. Peace.